Hey there, tubies! Today, we're diving into a hot topic that has been making waves in Singapore. Strap in, because we've got a juicy story about the rental of 2 bungalows on Ridout Road and the involvement of some top ministers. I'm going to break it down for you in all its detailed glory, so get ready. So, in an upcoming Parliament session scheduled for Monday, 4 of Singapore's top ministers, including Mr. Shanmugam and Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, are set to deliver joint ministerial statements about these controversial bungalows. Just a few days before the session, the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau, CPIB, and Senior Minister Mr. Chee Hean released reports clearing both ministers of any corruption or criminal wrongdoing in the rental process. But here's the kicker. The release of the CPIB report was unannounced until Wednesday, while the review led by SM Teo was publicly announced on May 23. Now, during the Parliament session, the ministers will be addressing a bunch of burning questions raised by members of Parliament. Let me give you a sneak peek into some of those questions. First up, we've got Mr. Zulkarnain Abdul Rahim from Chee Kong GRC, who wants to know the circumstances that led to these properties being rented out to the ministers and how the Singapore Land Authority, SLA, marketed them. Next, Mr. Murali Pillai from Bukit Batok is seeking information about the steps taken to market, tenant, and renew the tenancies of these bungalows. He also wants to know what measures are in place to ensure equal opportunities for all bidders. Fair enough, right? Then we have Mr. Saito Yupin from Padang Pasir, who is curious about SLA's standard tenancy procedures, whether they were followed, and what the rental rates for these properties are. Mr. Donwi from Chee Kong GRC wants to know the total number of such properties in Singapore, whether the rental rates are benchmarked against the private residential market, and if SLA maintains a transparent process to list these properties available for rental. Transparency is key, folks. Leader of the Opposition and Workers' Party Chief Pritam Singh is seeking assurances that both ministers didn't receive any privileged information about their leases and wants to know the guide rent set by SLA for these properties when they were leased. Pritam is leaving no stone unturned, I tell you. Mr. Gerald Jayam from Aljani GRC is pondering if there are plans to redevelop land occupied by these colonial bungalows for more productive uses. He's also questioning if the bidding process for these properties is audited by the Auditor General's office annually. He's all about long-term vision and accountability. And hold on, folks, we're not done yet. Non-constituency MP Leong Mun Wai wants to know why SM Teo was chosen to review the minister's tenancy instead of an independent branch of government like a Supreme Court judge. Interesting point, Leong. Lastly, NCMP Hazel Poa has a juicy question about why the rental bid for one of the bungalows was made by an agent and whether SLA knew that the Minister for Law was the principal behind the bid. She's also curious about when SLA came to know about this little tidbit. Hazel wants the inside scoop. Now, here's where things get interesting, folks. The article I stumbled upon seems to have some skepticism about the investigation's outcome. They point out some pretty peculiar coincidences. For example, Minister Shanmugam paid the exact same monthly rental amount as the guide rent set by SLA. Talk about a coincidence, right? And Minister Balakrishnan's wife just happened to stumble upon a for-lease sign at 31 Ridout Road. They ended up as tenants, just $200 above the guide rent. Quite the stroke of luck, if you ask me. But that's not all, folks. Remember how SM Teo, the one who conducted the review, was that senior cabinet colleague that Minister Shanmugam notified about his rental? Well, guess what? SM Teo was also appointed by PM Lee Hsien Loong to conduct the independent review. Talk about a conflict of interest investigating another conflict of interest. Now, SM Teo's report says that the ministers conducted themselves properly and took steps to avoid any conflict of interest. Minister Shanmugam apparently removed himself from the chain of command and decision-making process, and even recused himself from any discussions related to the rental. But hold on a minute. The article raises a valid question. Once the minister expressed interest in the property, wouldn't his subordinates know what to do? Food for thought, my friends. And let's not forget the déjà vu moment here. Remember when PM Lee recused himself from any discussions and decision-making regarding 38 Oxley Road by appointing SM Teo to chair the Ministerial Committee? Well, it seems like we're on the same merry-go-round again. This whole readout controversy comes after a string of other scandals, including the Keppel bribery scandal, the SPH media circulation fiasco, and the Part 1 Leonil Man Leong scandal. So, you can imagine that people are getting a little tired of the own self, check own self and own self, investigate own self routine. Now, my friends, the big question is, what do you think about all this? Are you as skeptical as the article's author? Or do you believe that everything is above board? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, hit that like button if you enjoyed this detailed breakdown. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more intriguing news stories like this one. Stay tuned, and until next time, take care.